All right, there we go. We are live. So, like I actually picked him in the pre-race. I said SVG was going to win this race, and he went out there and got it done. Like it just made sense by the numbers, and man, he pulled it off. His first ever NASCAR Cup Series race, he gets the win. And I don't know why it should surprise anyone because he had the most experience on a street in a similar type of car. But man, it added to a great storyline. The racing was a lot better than I thought it would be. Was possibly bailed out by sort of that fluky caution that they got there. There were a lot of cautions in the race, so that was accurate. We knew there would probably be a lot of cautions. How much the weather played into that, who knows? But also, even with that fluky caution, one of the faster cars still ran down the leader that got the through pit strategy or whatever you want to call it. Still ran down the leader, so that added actually to the excitement. But was it sort of bailed out by that caution? Was it sort of bailed out by the winner because it looked like Christopher Bell was going to run away with it? Was SVG just saving his stuff till the end? Could he have run down Christopher Bell? If that hadn't happened, then of course Christopher Bell gets into traffic. But let's run down the top five. Shane Van Gisbergen wins. Justin Haley, second, big second for him. He needed that second. Chase Elliott, a big third place finish. He needed that third place, especially with some other drivers in the playoff hunt having trouble, and that being Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace as well. Kyle Larson ends up finishing fourth. Kyle Busch fifth. So Kyle and Kyle fourth and fifth. Austin Cindric needed a good run as well. Good run for Penske there, finishing sixth. Michael McDowell finishes seventh. Joey Logano eighth. Another Penske car there. And Ty Gibbs with a good run. He's working on pointing his way into the playoffs. And Chris Buescher rounds out your top 10. So there you go. All right, let's jump into the comments and see. Ken Adams saying, you predicted it. I didn't think he could pull off the win. It seemed weird because it is his first race, but at the end of the day, he did have the most experience in this type of racetrack and a similar type car. So I'm not totally shocked by that. I knew if ever there was going to be a chance for a ringer to win a race, this would be the one. So he got it done. So it's pretty cool for sure. Howdy from the Great White North. What's up, Canada? What's up, Robin Marks? Philip Canavan. That wasn't bad. Too bad the race was shortened. Yeah, unfortunately, the weather did play a factor in this one. But really cool deal either way. Larry says, I think NASCAR hit a home run. I love the track layout, the incredible drone shots. Yeah, NBC's coverage was really good too. Thumbs up. I say the winner should be a national hero and great driving. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they're having a good time. There's probably some people that left work early over there in New Zealand and Australia. No doubt in my mind about that. Big day for supercars, big day for New Zealand, no doubt about that. And Scott McLaughlin, he was super pumped up about it too. Sent out several tweets in support of his buddy SVG. Robin Marks, I heard Chase has to win. He can't point in. I'm not sure though. Chase is pretty close in points. He has to make 7 points per race, and he can point his way in. Was the math on that? So not totally undoable to point his way in. But a big finish for him, so it helps him points wise. Aldis, not sure, but obviously a win knocks him in. I'm not sure how I really feel about the track as a whole. What if NASCAR raced the layout used in NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup? I don't know. It raced pretty good today. There were some passing zones and stuff like that at a street course, but there were definite passing zones here. Look, congratulations to the SVG. I'm going to have to. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be, says T-Van. Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see what happens if they ever race there again. But this race for sure ended up being a good race, no matter how it fell out or whatever. Good race, but unfortunately, Joseph Wooten didn't finish that one, so I don't know where you're going with that one. One wise guy, I think as a whole, NASCAR blew it this weekend. They should have negotiated to run Xfinity on Monday. So, yeah, that's going to be a big bummer. The people that paid the money for the Xfinity ticket and the concert and all that, NASCAR needed some positive momentum because everything that could go wrong up until the race itself was going wrong. So they needed this race actually to be good, and they were bailed out with a great finish, a great storyline, and all that stuff. So I think you're all right about that one wise guy. Leon's Automotive head over heels to see Project 91 and SVG pull off the victory. Today is monumental for our sports history, says Leon's Automotive. Yes, super big deal. Great day for them for sure, for everybody involved. This race here was. Now some of the stuff leading up to it, NASCAR sort of bailed out with a good finish because of that. But like I said, what can you do with the weather and the city calling the race? Mike Haywood says Austin Dillon takes himself out again while racing for the win. Well, he was racing for the win. So if you're going to take yourself out, that's the time to do it, I would say. At least he was going for it. At least he wasn't settling for a second place finish. Jay Campbell, I'll take Chicagoland next year. I mean, a lot of people still feel strongly about that, but I think unobjectively, I think this was a good race in my opinion. But I've thrown it up to you, and 49% so far. There is a poll up. Do you think it's a good race? Right now, 49% saying it was a good race right now. Alda says SVG is a 3-time Australian Supercars champion. Yeah, for sure. He's got the experience, especially on this type of track and in a very similar car. Mike Ora, that was a forking, amazing race, says Mike. So there you go. I think a lot of people are in that boat. I don't think a lot of people were expecting it to be good. So I think the low expectations a lot of people had actually made it a better race. So definitely a good finish. So happy that something went right at Chicago. I'll say that. William Wagman, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was definitely a good race to me personally. As far as still in the playoffs, I don't know. I haven't seen a points rundown just yet. I'll have to check. I think where do I normally check that? I think Jayski normally puts it up pretty quick. The race on Twitter, the race was better than I thought it would be. The track layouts I needed to be a little better, says Escobar. Maybe, but there were passing zones here, so I don't know. I don't know how much differently you could lay out the track, but I don't know. Duke Chronic says, "Hey, Baloney, I was the winner's in-car, and sounds I heard he was using every RPM to slow down on YouTube," says Duke Chronic. So yeah, he was definitely clutching a transmission that doesn't necessarily need to be clutched, using the clutch, I should say. So maybe that was part of it, but yeah, he definitely got it done. Definitely used his experience here. So what about the street race hijack from yesterday, says Marcos Lewis? Yeah, I addressed that on the earlier live stream. I mean, some people broke in there and raced on the track. It's not the first time that's ever happened at a racetrack. So I don't know. They were sent to adult timeout for it. At least one of them was. So I don't know. Aldis, but like I said, it's happened at other racetracks too. So it's not unique to Chicago that happened. I missed Road America. Keep the street course and bring back Road America, and probably get rid of the Indy Road course. I don't know. I'd have to really look at the schedule for that. That's one I can't like really just jump on here and answer. That's something you got to look at for a long period of time. William Wagman, is NASCAR finally going to go after Bubba Wallace for hitting Ricky Stenhouse on the left side blindly? I don't know. I'd have to see the full replay of that. Let's see. Joseph Wooten, the restart area was in a bad spot, so no double file restarts all day. That was because of the weather, is what they said on TV, but I don't know. Unfortunately, I see NASCAR coming back next year. They might. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. I don't think it's 100% going to be up to NASCAR. I think the city of Chicago is going to have something to say about that as well. Alex says, what up, Baloney? Alex here from Brazil. The race was good. I agree with you, Alex. I think it was a great race myself. But some people, like I said, some people did not like the race. So we'll have to see what their take on it. The race was BA period, says Brian Chastain. Fender Greg. Oh, see, deleted that one. The winner helped Chase with a third, and Haley didn't take the slot into the championship. Yeah, so that's another thing there, because he's a ringer, essentially. Nobody locked a place in the playoffs, so that's interesting. And ironically, the last time somebody did that was Justin Haley. Justin Haley was the last non-points contender that won a race and sort of took somebody's playoff spot away. Well, I'll take it back. AJ Allmendinger did it too. So one of the last two, I should say. Need some changes in NASCAR. I wish someone would buy them out. Look how big UFC and F1 have got. Appalachia Dog 80. Well, F1's always been big. I don't know. F1 worldwide has always been bigger than NASCAR. Let's see. Does Haley have prior road course experience? He surprised me. Other than the Xfinity Series, I don't think he's got any Trans Am experience or anything like that. I think just the Xfinity Series. So I think he just put in the time to get better himself. RJ says Shane is the only the second V8 supercar driver to win the NASCAR Cup Series behind Marcus Ambrose. Hey, so there you go. I didn't know that. There was there was another Australian that ran the road course back in the day. I remember him running. I watched the old race on YouTube. He ran at Riverside, I think. I can't remember who it was, though. Regular NASCAR drivers in the series embarrassed themselves today, said David Nile. I don't know. I don't know if anybody embarrassed themselves other than Noah Gragson. He had a rough day, but I think other than that, it was a pretty good race. I got a super chat here. Robin Marks says Ross didn't win, but that Justin Marks is a genius. He must be. We must be related somehow. Trackhouse is on a roll. Kiwi Power. Ross wrecked someone. Who was it? Ross did get into somebody. I can't remember who it was. He did. He bumped somebody and somebody spun or something like that. But it was, I don't know. It wasn't like a super, I don't know. It just depends on which side of the Chastain coin you're on. But it wasn't super egregious from what I remember seeing. And somebody said earlier that maybe the Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse thing was on purpose. I don't know. I didn't see it far enough back to see if it was on purpose or not. It looked like Bubba Wallace just completely lost control of his car from what I was seeing. But if that was on purpose, it was really bad. Sub BB, I'm pumped up. SVG gets the dub. Let's go. Yeah, like, I don't know how many people realize how rare this is. The dude's first start ever in NASCAR, and he wins the race. And this is the first time in a long time that an actual ringer has won a race. So you actually saw something pretty amazing here. So I don't know. T-Van, Gregson loved turn 6. That was where McDonald's sign was. And he kept in that turn, and he kept running the Wendy's car into it. Yeah, so him and Martin Truex went for maximum screen time. I tweeted that out earlier. I think they were in a competition for screen time. RJ says, looks like YouTube won't allow me to chat on YouTube on my larger sub channel on Firefox-based browsers. I don't know. That's above my head, my friend. Alex ever owned a Chevrolet Opala. Really surprised by the race today. Track was a lot better than I thought it would be, and there were plenty of pass. There was plenty of passing. If you're riding in car with SVG, yeah, I thought there was plenty of passing too. Maybe not at the front, the first half of the race when the 20 car took off and left them. But like I said, I think SVG was just sort of shaking his car out, getting used to it and things like that. So we'll see. T-Van, maybe he should eat a Baconator. Buha says, Maloney, what is up? The race was good. When do you think Ty Gibbs will win a race? If it's not toward the end of this year, he'll probably get it done next year, is my thoughts on that one. Let's run a full season schedule at every major city in the U.S., a 20-race schedule with 5 playoff races, says Leon's Automotive. That's one thought about it, Leon. The other thought is just rotate the street race to a different city each year. That way it makes it special, sort of like how the NFL does the Super Bowl. I think that's one way of doing it as well. But I do think that because of the success of this race, I do think we will see more street races in the future. I think the next one we'll see will probably be in Montreal, but that's just my opinion. No inside info on that. T-Van says, LOL. RJ, what's up, BB? How you doing? How you doing, Chrome Diesel? I'm doing good. I kind of felt like the race. I kind of like the race. Single file restarts and no stage cautions is the greatest thing NASCAR has done this year. Yeah, the no stage cautions for sure is a good look. I like it. Bert, I picked SVG in the beginning because I thought his last name was funny. Funny how things turn out. I picked him because I thought he was going to win because he had the most experience, and he ended up getting it done. So I think that's the second or third winner I've picked this year, so I feel good about that. Great race. Made Kiwi number 1, number 91, Trackhouse era racing, or Trackhouse Racing. Says Silver Tab. So there you go. Definitely a big day. Happy for everybody involved with the winner there. Super cool. And so much for the these extra cars being like Project 91, so much for those just being money grabs, as some people have said. Like I said, if you put the right driver in these cars, they'll get the job done. Trackhouse, 2 wins in a row. Is this Earth 2, says Duke Chronic? Yeah, so this could be an Earth 2 moment for sure. But like I said, Shane had the best, most experience on these type of tracks, and especially with a very similar car, so he didn't have a big jump like some of the open wheel guys that have tried the ringer role. Danielle says, hello, Kyle. It was a good race. Good for Shane. Hit the like button, everyone. Yes, I appreciate it, Danielle. If you want to hit the like button, I would appreciate it as well. RJ says, T-Van, Wendy's has better food than McDonald's, LOL. Yeah, I typically like Wendy's better than McDonald's myself. Let's see. Turn 6 was baconated, says Leon's Automotive. Ross spun out Gilliland. That's who it was. He spun out the 38. I like that 38 paint scheme too, with the white Thunderbolt on the basically an all red car with the silver chrome numbers. I like that. Silver tabs. Most of us have never seen this, and some never will. I'm grateful I got to see it, and I do believe he would have won the 100-lap race as well. Yeah, I think so too. I think he was just taking his time. Jay Campbell, Chastain dumped Gilliland, I believe. Yeah, so it just depends on they didn't show like a super great angle of it, so it's hard to say. I'd like to see an overhead to see if he was just going for a spot. And if somebody came down, but either way, the 38 is who Chastain hit. And like I said, depending on where you stand with Chastain, he either dumped him or it was a racing incident. I'm pretty sure I know where Todd Gilliland stands on it right now, though. We saw history today in many ways. I was skeptical. I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. Yeah, look, I didn't think it was going to be a great race either, but I'm glad to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm super happy to admit in this case that I'm wrong, because I always want the race to be good. I want NASCAR to be good as it can possibly be, because it is my favorite sport. So I'm super happy that I was wrong, that it was going to be a boring race. Wet tires worked just fine, says Duke Chronic. Usually I come here complaining about boring races. Chicago was the best race or a next-gen car, sloppy but entertaining. Yeah, so as much as the weather hurt the race, the sliding around actually probably helped it early on. Dale Jr. should start his Cup team in a similar way as Project 91 and do a few races with different drivers. That would be one way of going about doing it for sure. Did you enjoy the race, BB? Says Stephen D'Amelio Jr. Yeah, I thought it was a good race myself. A lot of good storylines, and NBC's coverage of it helped too. One thing that I noticed about NBC's coverage, they switch cameras a lot faster. You get a lot more pictures, if it makes any sense, a lot more shots than Fox. Fox will stay on one thing for a long period of time. NBC is always switching camera to camera, so it makes you feel like the pace of the race has been sped up. I think SVG was called by Johnny Rutherford. By the way, Johnny was the last NASCAR Cup Series driver to win in his debut at Daytona in 1960 in one of the twin 125s. That sounds right to me because they showed that statistic earlier, and I think he was the last one to win in his first start, so I think you're right about that. He should hire Jeffrey to be one of his drivers. Yeah, that's if Jeffrey wants to do it, so I don't know how that dynamic works, but I'd love to see Jeffrey Earnhardt get a chance in a good car for sure. Ken says SVG now has an average finish of first in his Cup career, GOAT status. Yeah, and also he dropped a little news in the post-race interview. He said he's going to race one more year in supercars, and then he's going to probably head over to the Cup Series. So that was a big bombshell that nobody's really talking about just yet. The radio guys were excited about the Kiwi. Also, he wasn't listed on NASCAR's website on the race page. It was hard to keep track of him. And it was funny that it only listed Haley as second and no first. Oh, really? It was working on the phone app. So it was working on the phone app over here. Not the app, but just the my web browser on my phone, I guess I should say. It would have been awesome to see Jimmy Johnson run this race, says Riding with Wheels. Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, everything that could go wrong before the race itself happened, I actually did go wrong, and that was part of it. Got a super chat from William Thomas. Appreciate it. How did Blaney get 3 down? Still not sure. He spun out at some point in the race, even though they didn't show that for some reason, but he spun out at some point in the race, and it just progressively getting worse and worse for Ryan Blaney, young Ryan Blaney. Not his best race, but the rest of the Penske gang actually got it done today. Both of those, Joe Logano and Austin Cindric, finished in the top 10. So it wasn't a bad day for Penske, just a bad day, unfortunately, for old bad luck Ryan Newman. Robin Marks, he flew faster than a Kiwi. Talking about the bird today, LOL, says RJ. SVG did it, says Bumblebee. Yep, he pulled it off. RJ saying, what's up to Bumblebee? I have a strange craving for a Baconator, says X Dude. Hey, look, if Noah Gregson's job is to get Bumblebee, he succeeded in that job today. Other than that, though, it was a rough outing for the fella. You think Wendy's sponsors turn 6 next year, says one wise guy. You would think they would have to at least think about it. You could make a funny marketing campaign about it, too. Like, last year, we love turn 6 so much or something like that, and then you just run with it from there. Mark Barnum, last 15 laps, save the crap shoot, says Mark Barnum. Great race, too. I don't know what people honestly expected, but it lived up to the hype to me. I love seeing Haley come so close. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For a race that had so much bad mojo before the race started, the race itself ended up being really good. Justin Haley was so close, but no cigar. Yeah. Also, he had 15 lap older tires, and he made a valiant effort to hold SVG behind him. There was nothing anybody could have done with the speed differential. But as far as what somebody could do, I think Justin Haley acquitted himself pretty well today. T-Van, I think Red Bull could return with SVG. That would be awesome. I would love to see Red Bull back in the sport. RJ, I'm good, says Bumblebee. What do you think Dale Sr. would do, says Buha. I don't know. It's a race he hadn't won at, so typically at races he hasn't won at, he tries to he always tried to win tries. He always tried to win. He always wanted to win at as many different tracks as possible. So I think it would have been high on his list. I voted earlier today on your poll. I had no clue. Glad it was not a bad race. It was good, not great, but better than I feared, and a great story. So imagine how bad it could have been. Yeah, like I'm just glad it was a good year, good race. NASCAR is light years ahead of Fox, aside from Mike Joy, says Jay Campbell. Yeah, the camera work just really helps it out more than anything else, and that's my biggest gripe about Fox. They just need to get their camera work done, and then we can worry about the booth and all the other stuff after that. Bumblebee, I'm doing okay. Okay, y'all two are talking to each other. I'll let y'all do that. Buha, am I the only one who loves the radio broadcast? Oh yeah, that was part of it too. Like bringing in the professionals from the radio side definitely helped. Let's see. William Wagaman, NBC is heavily favored toward Toyota. They're getting paid by Toyota to put their brand first, says William Wagaman. I mean, that's I hadn't really noticed that, but I don't think that's any different from Fox always saying something about a fast forward or something like that. And of course, the Chevrolet, or Mike Joy always saying fast forwards. And of course, they've got Chevrolet guys in the booth that always want to talk about Hendrick Motorsports and stuff like that on the NBC side. So it just depends on what you're looking at and who you're looking to. There's always been accusations of they're favoring somebody. So I don't know. I can see it both ways, but I don't know. I was hoping Joey would have stumbled into a W. Yet another Cup venue event debut, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, he's pretty good at that. He put himself in pretty good position there at the end, getting off cycle with the pit strategy. Bumblebee, sorry about that. Vic, what's up? Just joined in. Really fun race to watch. Started rough though. Great win by SVJ. Making fun of the who did that? Somebody said SVJ early in the broadcast. Also proud of the fifth place finish for Kyle Busch, says Vic. Like dislike the guys that broke into the track misunderstood when they heard street race this weekend in Chicago. Yeah, they were just they didn't know it was closed to them when the NASCAR guys were done. Maybe there wasn't a sign. Robin Marks, I thought Truex was going to finish good, but he pushed it too hard. Then he punted someone today. He sure did. He punted Alex Bowman. Poor Austin. I was watching his in-car when he smacked the ball. Yeah, he just barely clipped the inside wall, and when he did that, he hit it in the wrong place, and it sent him into the outside wall. But look, the dude was going for the win. That's all you can ask for. Dude made NASCAR drivers look silly, says Holly Golden. I don't know about that. He just got so much more experience at this type of track. But they did their best. I mean, the guy that finished second had 15 lap older tires, and he still held on to it as long as he could. So I don't know. But look, taking nothing away from SVG, what a great run. And like I said, I picked him to win the race because I knew he had the most experience. Project 91 needs to hire Jason Plato. We need an experienced BTCC driver in the NASCAR, the British Touring Car Championship, says RJ. I'm shocked the Dinger wasn't up front. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really hear much from him all day. I think I saw him touch the wall at one point, so I don't know if that damaged the car or not. Danielle Dunn with the thumbs up. Let's see. Bumblebee, this is happening on a PC, not on the phone. David Nyhoff, we really lowered our standards when a wrecked field race is considered a good race, says David Nyhoff. So I don't know. Some people didn't like it, I guess, because of the cautions. I don't know. Then he took my so far. Let's see what the poll says. Was it a good race? Right now, 57% says yes, 7% says it was bad, 19% said it was okay, and 18% say the finish saved it. So let's see. Trackhouse is the best thing to happen to NASCAR for a long time, says Elite Precision. Yeah, they have brought a different level of excitement. They brought a different way of going about their business. I agree with you there. TJ says, well, that race was pretty dang good. Can't tell me NASCAR can't find a way around these agonizing rain delays, though. Fans were shorted out of a lot for how much money they spent on the tickets. Yeah, for sure. Like, if you don't have lights, no matter where the event is, they probably need to start it earlier. So that's just the way I look at it. But even if they did start this one earlier, I don't know if they would have gotten any racing in because it still wasn't going to stop raining until it stopped raining. So I don't know. David, I'm not even considering the wrecks, says Bumblebee. Might have to update the Water Fox and Firefox on Archcraft, though. Let's see. Ronald Russell for Bubba haters. In the last 20 laps, SVG passed Bubba, and Bubba must have decided to try and stay with him. 2 corners, and he was off the track. Yeah, so yeah, he Bubba Wallace continues to struggle at road courses. He does have one good road course finish, but he typically not his strong suit for sure. Let's see. Bumblebee says, I got to go get my kid to bed. Thanks for hanging out with us, Bumblebee. Appreciate you hanging in there. Steven says, I voted earlier on your poll, also voting saying it was going to be a bad race. Glad I was wrong. Yeah, I think even a lot of people that thought it was going to be a bad race are glad that it wasn't a bad race. Because you never want NASCAR to like be bad. All right, so I think a lot of people are happy about that. I had SVG easy pick yesterday too, remarkably faster than everyone right out of the gate, and got better from there. Yeah, and not only that, but let's give Trackhouse some credit too. They gave him a really good car. They could have just made this like a money grab or something like that, but they gave him a car capable of winning. Darian Grubb is his crew chief. I mean, everything about their like all-star car, if you want to call it that, is top notch. Chetty says Bubba wrecked multiple times today. So I don't. Why are we talking about Bubba Wallace? M43 videos. My brother told me Haley finished second. I didn't know she was racing today. Justin Haley. Am I the only one that wanted Justin Haley to win? I was good with whoever won, but I just knew that with the experience, it was going to be, especially with the 15-lap older tires, I knew it was going to be dang on near impossible to hold him back for 2 laps. Or 5 laps, whichever restart you want to go to. RJ says, Bumblebee, would you believe Project 91 is based off of Justin Marks' old K&N program with Braun Racing? One of their former drivers is William Byron. So there you go. The Project 91 has long roots there. Radio broadcast should be on every race, says William Thomas. I don't disagree with that. At all. Poor Noah had a tough rookie year. Wrecked from the lead. Dega bowl cut to serve Kyle Larson's new ramen sponsor. Bell rung at Gateway. Pretty sure he left his wallet in turn 6 as well, says Leon's Automotive. RJ, I just read that one. Let's see. TJ Morshed, no one really could say the man's name correctly the entire broadcast, says TJ Morshed. It's a tough one, especially when you're trying to say it rapidly. You need to add an AI chat to read the questions. Love the show, says Dylan Brown. I still can't believe SVG won. I can't even say the initials. Says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. 6 90-degree turns, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, but it wasn't like the end of the world. Like it wasn't. There was only one complete pile up on the track. So you can complain about that, but it happens at Daytona and Talladega too. So sometimes it just happens. I thought we were in the Earth 2 reality when SVG won. No doubt about it. I think a lot of people did, but I was not one of them. I knew he had a strong chance of winning this race. I will be the first to admit I was skeptical. I was totally wrong, says Riding with Wheels. I think a lot of people are in that boat, including myself. I didn't think it would be a great race because typically street races in every other series are not, but this one ended up being a pretty good race. I didn't like Nashville either, says Duke Chronic. The race was a lot better than I expected. You called it BB. I can't believe your pick won, says OJ and Two-Face. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at it reasonably, and I was like, he's got the most experience in these type of races. He's one of the faster cars in practice. He qualified well. Australian V8 supercars aren't massively different than Cup cars, so I felt like Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, or Kyle Larson, like I felt pretty to be in there, and all those guys showed speed. And it wasn't even a super surprise because I did mention Christopher Bell. He's got a good average finish. But Christopher Bell was the only one that really surprised me being as dominant as he was early on. But once he got back in traffic, he didn't look like he had the same car. So it looked like he needed that fresh air to really make his car do what it was going to do. If Trackhouse wants SVG full-time, they better find the third charter or beg NASCAR to increase the car back to 43. That's one way of looking at it. There's also some other car owners that have some spots open too. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily all Trackhouse, but I would lean toward Trackhouse having dibs on him for right now. I listened to AJ's in-car today. His setup was wrong from the start, says Gojo. So there you go. AJ just had a bad setup. Thoughts on Atlanta, says Jay Campbell. We'll have to get to Atlanta when we get to Atlanta. But it's going to be wide open with so many people needing to get a win to lock in. I didn't even notice the 91 was coming through the field till the 3 smacked the wall, says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know. I was looking at him the whole time because I was like, once he got past, like I was looking at the race tracker and I was like, I saw Kyle Larson coming up because I saw Kyle Larson get past Christopher Bell. And then the next time I looked down at the race tracker, SVG had gotten in front of Kyle Larson. I was like, oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Like, what's going on? So then I started looking at lap times, and he was like a second faster than everybody else at that point. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, this dude's going to win this race. And I knew it from that point. Like when he was a second faster than everybody, I was like, there's no way he loses this race unless he hits the wall. And lo and behold, now the cautions helped him. The cautions helped him because it gained him track position, or it gained him not track position, but it decreased those gaps. So those guys continuing to wreck are actually what hurt Justin Haley the most, because Justin Haley was going to hold that lead over the other guys he was racing with at that time. But the more we had cautions, the easier it became for SVG to get up there and just pick them off. Maybe it's my intelligence level, but I find ovals easier to follow what's going on, says Buha. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want to watch. I'm not trying to make anybody like road course racing or the street course or anything like that. I've always liked them. It's just one of those things that I never understood why people hated road courses, but I've always liked them. So it's up to preference. Some people don't like them. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like some people don't like super speedways, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. Maverick, Mississippi is the poorest state in the union. What? That's random. What do the playoff standings look like now? Says Mark Barnum. It's hard to say. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull that up on J-Ski, because that's something people keep asking. What do the playoffs look like? Let's see here. Not sure if it's been posted yet. All right, here we go. We got I don't have the playoff standings, but I've got the drivers. Right now, Martin Truex is your points leader. William Byron is second, but let's go down here to 16th. Ty Gibbs right now is the last car in 16th. Bubba Wallace is in 15th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in 14th. The first person out right now is Daniel Suarez. Second person out is Michael McDowell. AJ Allmendinger is 19th, and Alex Bowman is 20th right now. For your Chase Elliott fans, Chase Elliott is right now in 24th position. He's got 323 points. That puts him exactly 10 points behind Justin Haley in 10th. And let's see, in 16th is Ty Gibbs with 378. Pretty tight until you get to Allmendinger. So right now it looks like Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez, and Ty Gibbs are fighting for points. But Chase Elliott is not far behind them. So it's going to be tight all the way down to the wire as far as that goes. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off here? I don't know, so I'm just going to jump here. Seikau Nakao. I just wish Haley had won because of the playoff implications. LOL says Seikau Nakao. Yeah, that definitely would have been wild, and it definitely would have shaken things up. I'm rewatching last week's race. I missed it due to AEW Wrestling pay-per-view. LOL, I know High wins, but I need to watch it. I know who wins, but I need to watch it, says Buhai. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's see. At what point did NASCAR announce the race would be shortened by 25 laps? Under one of those cautions, due to impending darkness. That surely couldn't have been foreseen as a possibility. Hashtag plan better NASCAR. Yeah, I'm with you there, Jamie. I wish they had announced it before the race started if they were going to do that. Announcing it sort of in the middle of the race, even though it was a caution period, it was kind of not ideal. But at the end of the day, I don't think it really would have changed the outcome. There was one of three cars that was going to win. Well, four cars if the 45 hadn't wrecked. The 20, the 45, the 5, and the 91, to me, looked like the class of the field all day. So I think it was going to be one of those cars either way. Crazy how many cars had issues and still finished the race. That was pretty amazing. Glenn Pillar, NASCAR screwed the leaders, announced a shortened race, causing the cars that didn't pit to not pit, inverting the field. Yeah, that was the timing of that caution did not help people. That's for sure. Why is Atlanta so late? It makes no sense, says William Wagaman. They're just trying to have a night race, I guess, because of the hot temperatures. Would be my big guess about that. Would be the warm temperatures in the South during the summer. Would be my guess as to why they're having the night race at Atlanta. Maybe who and where do we see our next surprise winner? I say Priest wins at New Hampshire. He's a good pick to win at New Hampshire. I think Atlanta, you could have a surprise winner because it's basically a super speedway now. 91 past KB and Chase, says Duke Chronic. He passed everybody. He passed everybody. let's not forget Jensen Button put on a good show this weekend too for coming from Open Wheel, says TJ Moorshed. Yeah, in his second race in this type of car, third if you want to count the Le Mans race, Le Mans. I forgot how to say it. Let's see. E. Damon, I think Le Mans. I think we need more street races. Long Beach. Other ones, Indy hits. Short tracks are dead with this car. I think they just need to fix the short track package. I don't think we need to kill off short tracks. Play to its strengths, road courses and super speedways. No, NASCAR just needs to get off their ass and fix the short track package. They just need to get over it and yank all that underbody crap out from underneath of it and figure out how to make it work. I know it takes a lot. It'll take a lot of engineering to figure it out. We'll figure it out and engineer it. Claude Williams, maybe I'm just losing interest in NASCAR, but that was a boring race up until the end when the 91 passed the 31. I thought it was a pretty good race, but I'm not telling anybody how to enjoy races or live their lives. That's for sure. Everybody's opinion is valid. Robin Marks, the radio guys knew SVG was coming fast, and we're keeping track of him. Made his charge. They also were keen on Haley being a dirt guy, for sure. It was pretty surprising that two dirt guys and a guy from the and three dirt guys, if you want to include Haley, and a guy from the V8 supercars were the guys that sort of dominated this race. Martin Trix, 19, had a rough day. Damn, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, him and the 42 for sure. 42. Speaking of 42 likes. Got to fix that, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, so if you want to hit the like button, that would be much appreciated. Chrome Diesel says Elliott 55 below the cutoff line. So yeah, like I said, it's completely doable. If he just gets a couple of stage wins, that's 20 right there. So like I said, he can still point his way in. It's not, it's far from over for him. If NASCAR is going to start races this late at tracks with not enough lights, they better mandate headlights. Says Steve Van. Yeah, somebody posted they should do like the Project 56 for all the street courses, which would be highly expensive, but they can continue to worry about cost, pretend to worry about costs being the key word there. If they want to. Mark at the Mission, 58% of the vote says good race as of now. I missed something. I wanted so badly to love this, completely open-minded about it and totally supported this, but I wish they never do this again. It was horrible. So yeah, I mean, some people just did not like it, but I think most people did like it, or at the very least like the finish. Come on, Long Beach, says Stephen D'Amelio Jr. Long Beach would be another one. Like, this is what I'm saying. They need to rotate the street course race around. They don't need to have it at the same place every year. They need to rotate it around every year because that would make it special. That would help with attendance and sellouts and stuff like that. Kyle Busch, second in the playoffs. I know that, says Danielle Dunn. Do we have 16 different winners this year? I don't think we're going to get 16 different winners this year, but that's just my thoughts on that. The Rick Ware cars didn't run too bad today, 21st and 26th. Yep, it was a good day for them. That's super good for a Rick Ware car, no doubt about that. Chase did good with points, says Duke Chronic. Yep, he did for sure. Elliott is 55 out of the 16 spot. Can you imagine SVG full-time in 2024, especially with these road courses? Yeah, he's going to be tough. Like, he's going to give AJ Allmendinger a run for his money for sure, as being the road course guy or whatever, as far as specialists go. I hate the word specialist because I feel like once you get to NASCAR, you'll get pretty good at everything. Do you want to be in Chicago downtown at night, says Duke Chronic? I don't know. I've never. They say it's just on the south side, so I don't know. I've never been to Chicago, so I can't pretend to be an expert on that. William Byron, first in the playoffs. I know people hate on Ty Gibbs, but he has impressed me so far. Ty and Gregson. I hope those rooks can truly become rivals. Would be great for NASCAR. Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till next year because Chevrolet has obviously pulled support from Legacy Motor Club. It rains in the afternoon at Atlanta, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, that's part of it too. Poll suggestion: who will win a race before the postseason? Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, or Bubba Wallace? Yeah, that's probably. Go ahead and end this poll here. Let's see. We'll go with that. Let's see who we have here. right, there we go. New poll question is up. Who wins the race before the postseason? And this is a poll suggestion, so I left that in there. All right, let's see. Let's see. Where was I at? What happened to Denny? Denny smoked the wall early on, and then he recovered to be. He was either 11th or 10th, so he did recover, but he hit the wall early on and just never recovered track position wise from that. SVG might be in NASCAR in a couple years. He said after the race next year. So he's going to run this year in Australian V8 Supercars, and he's looking to come to NASCAR next year. So he did say that in the post-race interview. Sooner Bubbles is out of the playoffs, the better. He sucks like Denny, says Mark Barnum. So obviously a lot of people just don't like Denny or Bubba Wallace. Or anybody that drives a Toyota for the most part, other than Martin Truex Jr. Who would you like to see next in the Project 91? I'd love to see Jordan Taylor get a shot at the Glen, says Leon's Automotive. Who would I want to see get the next shot? That's a hard question. There's so many people I'd like to see in there. Lewis Hamilton would be the first one that jumps into mind. Let's try this street race before we add more. Way better than I thought it would be, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, I agree too. And I'm not trying to add more. I'm just saying rotate this street course to different street courses. I don't have it at the same one every year. 80 watching, 58 likes. Come on and do. What did it say? Come on, guys, hit the like button. This is good stuff, says Beast. So, yeah, if you want to hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Chrome Diesel, I would like Chicagoland Speedway to come back. Maybe have it rotate with the street race. I mean, yeah, you could do that too. Just get some type of rotation in there. Like I said, you don't want to do the same thing over and over again because it gets stale. Anything new has a little bit more buzz to it, or anything that doesn't happen as often has more buzz to it. Think about the Olympics. It only happens once every 4 years. That's why it's such a big deal whenever it happens. Ken Adams, if I could pick the next city to have a street race, if you could pick the next city to have a street race, what would you choose? Montreal. Let's see. Just because I think Canada deserves a race, it wouldn't logistically be that expensive relative to other places they travel. So I think it would be okay to run it in Montreal. All the teams will look at the data and figure out what he was doing and where. No secrets. Yep, that's the problem with SMT data. 56% said it was good. Yep, looks like 56%. And 17% said the finish saved it. So if you double that with the bad, it was still only about 7, 8, 9, 11. Only about 25% thought it was bad. So 25, 56, and then 17 said it was okay, just an okay race. Let's see, 56%. 56% of people are not well due, says Mark Barnum. Daniel Suarez was doing good till that contact. That fender coming off of him, I don't think helped at all. Don't know how true, but Word was a member of NASCAR. Got mugged. I think Brett Griffin put that out there, but we don't know who it was yet. So I don't know. Brett Griffin definitely took an aggressive stance on not liking the location of the race. So yeah, Brett Griffin put that out there. So we'll have to see. Jay Campbell, Keselowski would not have done better to stay with Penske, but I know the whole deal with that. I don't know. He's got RFK running pretty good here recently. Okay, I can agree with your point to move into a different venue for a street race. I love the street races and open wheel series abroad, but I'm a NASCAR fan, still supportive, but not my cup of tea today, says Mark the Mission. OJ and Toothpaste says, I thought Ty Dillon and SVG would go toe-to-toe battling for the win today. But the 77 was not so fast today. He might win Atlanta, right, BB? Earth 2, Ty Dillon all day. No doubt about it. With the rains coming, I'm surprised the 77 didn't try to do something aggressive, though, for sure. Project 91 winning is great for NASCAR. I was very entertained by this race. Still Road America and Chicagoland should be on the schedule. Yeah, you just get into this thing where NASCAR, to get all these tracks on, they're going to have to rotate tracks in and out, or take 2 dates away from tracks that have 2 dates. Is Chase A for Chase Elliott? It was supposed to be Chase E. Chase Elliott. I don't know. I hit the wrong button. A and E are not even close to each other, so I don't know what happened there. Can we do this in Daytona and drive these rigs on the beach? I would be okay. I would be okay with a part sand, part road course race. Clyde Elliott says Duke Chronic. Yeah, I don't know why I hit A, but I don't know. Must have fat fingered it. Let's see. William Thomas. This would have been a boring race. 9N TV without the radio broadcast. Yeah, the radio broadcast definitely adds to the event for sure. Benjamin Lewis, how many times did you watch the same 10 laps of the Xfinity race before they called it? I didn't watch any of the Xfinity race because I was at South Boston helping out Jason Barnes over there, sweating my butt off all week. That's why you had the low video turnout this week compared to other weeks. One of the biggest races of the year, so I had to have maximum effort over there. Napa Racing Fan, 3 straight top 5s for Elliott. I think Jeff Burton was wrong, and they can make it in on points. They should race with the mentality that they need a win. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I'm just saying there is a way for them to point in. It's not completely unreasonable. Before this race, it was 7 points per race, which is more than doable for the level of talent that he's got. And now after this race, it's going to be way less than 7 points per race. I'm thinking. So I'm pretty sure he'll have 2 ways in, but obviously you want to go ahead and guarantee yourself a spot in there. I felt bad for Alex Bowman today, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, he got punted by Denny Hamlin, and then I guess under the spin, he over-revved the engine, and eventually the engine gave up. So a bad day for Bowman. I really hurt his chances of getting in the playoffs. He's now sort of in the same boat as Chase Elliott, where there is a way to point your way in, but you definitely want to get that win to guarantee yourself in. I just wanted to see a race. Says Duke Chronic. Well, you saw a pretty good one today, I think. And 56% of the people agree with that. Detroit should be the next street race. All manufacturers were founded there except Toyota and NASCAR. I can call it going back to their roots race. That's a fair point too. Lonnie, I'm going to be at the championship race in Phoenix. Will you be? I did not get tickets to it this year, unfortunately. So as of right now, it's not looking good. But if something changes, I will let you know. I went last year and I had a blast. It was a great time. I met a lot of great people out there. Still working on a vlog from when I went out there. Trying to figure out a direction for it so it doesn't suck, basically. But yeah, I had a great time out there. Really, really fun racetrack. So yeah, if I can find a way to get tickets, I will go back out there at a reasonable price. But yeah, as of right now, unfortunately, those tickets sold out in like 1 or 2 days, I think. If they do stuff like Indy at Toronto and NASCAR, that saves a lot of money, says Duke Chronic. That Xfinity finish was riveting. LOL. My proposal for Chicagoland is to swap it for the Kansas State. Same with Richmond. I would rather we take a Richmond date. Does Kansas have 2 dates? I think Kansas only has 1 date, but I might be wrong about that. But yeah, definitely take it from Richmond because Richmond has 2 dates. But yeah, as long as the track has 2 dates, that would be the first place I would look at. 2 dates and poor attendance at least one of them, Bristol. Without getting into it, best wishes to Miss Jimmy Johnson and their extended family. Yeah, for sure, Jamie Schweitzer. That was terrible. Like that whole situation. That was yeah. And it's just hard to even fathom. And of course, I don't want to talk about it just because it's so sensitive. But yeah, definitely, I can't even imagine what they're going through. FYI, Captain Ron heading home from Chicago. Have a safe trip there, Beast. Let's see, David Nyhoff. If we're going to race on the beach, let's run them in the Baja 500 course, says David Nyhoff. Yep, pretty funny. People don't want to race on the beach, even though the beach was the first Daytona race. So you can't say it's not tradition. So there you go. Dylan got completely jinxed by NBC in the last 10 laps, I think. Yeah. Maybe. BB, were you one of those people last night that went street racing at the track? Nope. But a younger version of me would have thought it was a good idea. How many times did Noah Gragson hit the tire barrier in turn 6, 3 to 4 or 5? Another bad showing for Legacy. Well, he had 3 spins pretty early in the race. So I'm gonna go closer to. I think he spun out 5 times, but I might be wrong about that. I would vote for Detroit, says Steven. Let's see, BB, would you rather have the final at Phoenix or Homestead? Maybe a good poll question. I think they should rotate the final race all around the country. But either one of those venues is good because I know Phoenix is a top-notch facility, and everybody told me Homestead is too. And so is Kansas. Kansas and Richmond have 2 dates each. One of them should go to Chicagoland. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. Let's see, E. Damon, Chase will get a win. He's too good, and I'm not a Hendrick fan, but a Chevy fan. The doesn't need to worry. A lot of races left, says E. Damon. Yeah, so that it's not like it's not super crunch time for Chase Elliott just yet. Let's see, BB Final Four race at Chicago Street or Sonoma. I'd go Sonoma on that one personally. I just like Sonoma, but I know it puts on a more boring race. I just like Sonoma, but probably for TV wise, probably Chicago. Richmond does not need 2 races, says Jay Campbell. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think there's very many tracks that do need 2 races. There must have been a dozen hits into the tire barrier at turn 6 today, if not more. Yeah, it was a. That was a pretty tough part of the track, apparently. I hope this doesn't lead to more road course races, says Dead End Viper. I think one street course race is enough. Like I said, they just need to rotate it to different cities. I find it funny how the NASCAR cut the race from 100 to 75 laps, then went into overtime only in NASCAR, says Napa Racing Fan. I mean, that's a fair point. So will Eric Almirola or Martin Truex Jr. or both of them retire at the end of the Cup season? I have no idea. A lot of people seem to think Eric Almirola is retiring, but I don't know. Do you know what the tech issues are for the 8 car at South Boston last night? I heard it is up to NASCAR. I have no idea what they found. I know the 8 car was like 3/10 faster than everybody. So whatever they had going on was BA. So yeah, I don't know. You'll have to call Jeff Bomar and ask him. He's the head tech official at South Boston. Ken Adams, do you think the NASCAR might put more? Please don't call him, by the way. Please don't look him up and call him, please. Do you think that NASCAR might put more street races on the schedule? I don't think they'll put more. I'm hoping they don't put more. I'm hoping they just rotate this date with different cities. Atlanta should host the finale because surface ages quick enough that pack racing will cease to exist. It will look like Darlington, but a 1.5 miler. I don't know. I'm hoping that we don't get a whole bunch of the same of any type of track, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it stays sort of like an even mix throughout. Got a super chat. Camaro 50. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Camaro 50. That's a big one. $50 for the 5 Camaros in the top 5. See you, BB. Hey, that was pretty impressive. Five Camaros in the top 5, man. Thank you very much, Camaro. I appreciate all of y'all for sure. Start time today due to the rain. I agree with that. But why start at 5 p.m.? Yeah, I mean, I agree, especially if you don't have lights. Xfinity would have finished if they ran 2 hours before they started. So, yeah. I agree with you. Some of that is TV, I guess. I don't know, Napa Racing Fan, but I've always heard it's TV. I like to see the Cup Series back in Indianapolis Raceway Park, says David. That's a good track for sure. That's one I'd like to see him at. I'd like to see Pikes Peak get some love too. And Napa Racing Fan saying 50 for Baloney. Looks like that is the end of the comments here, so I'll hang on for a minute or two more and read whatever else you got for me, and then I will hop off. So get your last ones. Austin Dillon doing? He was faster than Haley. He just didn't need to push so hard. I think his eyes just got so big. He was like, look, this is my chance to get into the playoffs. I don't think, or either that or they told him that SVG was coming and he needed to get it in front of the 31 and get as far away as possible because that was the only way he was going to be able to possibly win this because I think they knew SVG was coming. But either way, you're right. He pushed way too hard. But what do you want in that situation? Do you want a driver that's not going to wreck your car going for it? I would rather have a guy that's going to wreck the car going for it than a guy who's just going to settle for second place. Now, obviously, I'm not happy that Austin Dillon wrecked the car. That's a bummer. But I'd rather make a mistake of being too aggressive than make a mistake of not being aggressive enough because I can work with a guy that's too aggressive. I can't work with a guy that's scared or that won't push it harder. So I actually look at it as sort of a positive that Austin Dillon was actually being aggressive and not just trying to get a top 10, as we've seen him do in the past. Like he'll just get like a top 10 and sort of be happy with it sometimes, in my opinion. I was glad to see that aggression of him going for it, but that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know. Let's see. Obviously, like RCR guy, I'm an RCR guy. I was an Earnhardt guy, so you see the Austin Dillon flag right there. So Austin Dillon simp. Let's see. Austin Dillon can't win a race, even if it's handed to him, says Dead End Viper. So there you go. Like a lot of people are not Austin Dillon fans, and there's that either. Make the Coca-Cola 600 a playoff race and have the Roval a regular race, says Jay Campbell. Yeah, that could be something. I would love to see the Coke 600 be a playoff race for sure. Earth 2, Ty Gibbs and Bubba Wallace, Corey LaJoy, and AJ Allmendinger as the 2023 Final Four. No love for BJ McLeod there, Jamie Schweitzer. Where's BJ McLeod? I don't know. E. Damon, peace out, BB. Thank you as always. Thanks for hanging out with me, E. Damon. Always fun, my dude. I ditched the Roval. Charlotte is racing really well. A lot of people do like the way Charlotte is racing here recently. It seems any track that has some age on it after a while, it just seems to suit these cars. 3 could win Atlanta next week. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's for sure. His race win from last year is actually it just shipped out. That should be here pretty soon. Kevin Harvick's race win from last year just shipped out according to my email. Chrome Diesel, I think single file restarts at road courses should be standard as soon as possible. Maybe for COTA. Yeah, so a lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people did like it. I think for a road course, it makes sense. Of course, I remember back in the day, if nobody was a lap down, they were all single file restarts. So it's not anything shocking to me to see a single file restart. But today it was done because of the weather, from what I heard. I don't understand the Austin Dillon hate, says Ken. There's another good percentage of it because he's driving the 3 car. And there's another percentage of it that are Eric Almirola fans that were like, you wrecked our dude for the Daytona 500. So those seem to be the 3 biggest ones that I've seen, but everybody has their own reason why they hate Austin Dillon. I don't mind him. I think he's pretty cool dude. And I think he's a decent race car driver. He's obviously no Dale Earnhardt Sr., but who is? Thank you for a great show as always. And thank you, sir, says Jamie Schweitzer. Thank you, Jamie, as always, for joining in. Napa Racing fan, maybe have a Bank of America 300 at Charlotte for the playoffs. Could be. You, man, BB, what race are you going to, Campbell? The only one I know for sure that I'm going to go to this year is Martinsville. So the race before Phoenix is the only one off the top of my head that I know for sure I'm going to be able to make, just because the late model schedule has been super crazy this year. We haven't really had a set schedule like we have had in the past. Coca-Cola 600 as the championship race. Oh, that would be crazy. Austin is okay in my humble opinion, says Beast. Yeah, I think he's a pretty solid race car driver. That's where I stand on it. I like him, but I mean, I can be honest. He's not, he's not Dale Earnhardt Sr. And that's part of the problem because he drives a 3 car. That's one of the reasons a lot of people don't like him. Maybe Dylan got more haters for. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that, but because I don't pay attention to stuff like that. But yeah, there's some people that didn't like his reality show, I guess as well. But I've always been a fan of his. Says Napa Racing fan. They should have went to double file for the last 25 laps, so they could have stunk it up, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, so I do think the single file restarts helped with the lack of cautions. If Jeffrey Earnhardt was in the 3, nobody would complain, says Jeff. Hey, I think that's pretty much a fair statement. Let's see, and I would love to see Jeffrey Earnhardt drive for RCR. Dude, that would be awesome. I don't even care what car number he drove, but obviously if he drove for RCR, I feel like they might give him the 3. What is the perfect number of road courses for the Cup schedule? I think no more than 5. I think 4 to 5 is perfect. I like 4 road courses and 1 street course as long as they rotate the street course every year. Like the street course can't be in the same place year after year. So that would be mine on that. Xfinity has 8 this year and Cup as well with Portland and Road America. So there you go. I think 8 is too many. I think 4 to 5, as long as the 5th one is a street course that they rotate every year. Amen to the 600 for the final, says Jay Campbell. That would be pretty wild. Kyle B needs to be in the 3 car. It would be great. Dylan is a silver spoon, says Mr. Monk. I think a lot of people want to see Kyle Busch in the 3 car, but then again, the 3 car is Richard Childress's number. It was the number he raced. A lot of people, I guess, don't remember that or don't care. So I don't know. Napa Racing Fan says, see you Tuesday. See you Tuesday as well, Napa. And here's the last one. I never understood the silver spoon statement, especially when drivers like Blaney. Yeah, that's a fair statement. There's a lot of silver spoon drivers out there that get a pass, and Austin Dillon, just for whatever reason, isn't one of them. And what's funny about that is everybody's like, yeah, you remember when Kevin Harvick called Austin Dillon the silver spoon kid? He actually called Ty Dillon the silver spoon kid. He was mad at Ty Dillon in the Truck Series race, and that's where the silver spoon came from. But then, for whatever reason, it got sort of pushed on Austin Dillon. It wasn't Austin Dillon that Kevin Harvick was arguing about. So I don't know why people continue to call Austin Dillon Silver Spoon when Kevin Harvick called Ty. He was actually referring to Ty Dillon, but it is what it is. That's neither here nor there. If Kyle Petty and Davey Allison were coming up today, they'd get the same criticism. I mean, fair enough, but I don't know. Ty Dillon is plastic spoon, says Jeff. So there you go. That's there we go. Now, oh man, it's rough. It's rough. I don't know. Here's always been my thoughts on it. If you were Joe Gibbs or Richard Childress's grandson, and they said, "Do you want to drive a Cup car?" Would you say no? And if your answer is yes, you have no business driving a race car, because if somebody gives you the opportunity to be a race car driver, you always say yes. I don't care what the situation is. So that's always been my thoughts on the silver spoon argument. If somebody offers me an opportunity to get into a race car, I don't care what the circumstances are. The answer is always going to be yes. All right. And that's how I'm going to end this one. I appreciate all y'all. It was a fun live stream. Congratulations to SVG. This was a fun one for sure. All right. Check y'all on the next one. Peace.